In this video, we'll go over detailed instructions to get a POC of AD Bridge running with an on-premise Linux machine, in this case Ubuntu. Here we have our Active Directory domain and a Linux VM. We will join the Linux VM to Active Directory and then enable Linux users to authenticate using their AD credentials. This POC assumes we are 100% on-premise with no internet connection required. We're going to create and install certificates, install the AD Bridge gateway and gatekeeper, copy over the AD Bridge license file, install the agent on an Ubuntu VM, see the Ubuntu VM as a computer object in AD as well as a device in the AD Bridge portal, and then log in from the Ubuntu VM using a user's AD credentials. The prerequisites for this POC include a local Active Directory domain, a Windows Server 2022 VM that is joined to the domain and has a basic install of SQL Server 2019, and finally an Ubuntu VM, which is pointing to your local AD DNS. My Active Directory domain is named mica.local. You will need to adjust for the name of your AD domain accordingly. We'll be installing the AD Bridge components on the Windows Server, and we'll create the cert files and install the AD Bridge agent on the Ubuntu VM. Let's get started. Please SSH into your Ubuntu VM and run these commands to create the certs. These commands are also in the text file that accompanied this video to make it easy to copy and paste them into the CLI. Please note that the DNS line will be different for you depending on the hostname of your Windows Server 2022 and your AD domain. I'll overlay my screen so that you can follow along. Enter and verify a passphrase that you'll remember, and then enter that passphrase in the next step. We'll now copy over the certs and install them onto our Windows Server 2022 VM. I'll be using FileZilla to do the copy. RDP into your Windows Server, connect to your Ubuntu VM, and copy over the files. Find the .pfx and the ca.crt files and copy them over. Now double-click on the ca.crt file and install the certificate. Select Local Machine, click Next, and then browse for Trusted Root Certificate Authorities. Click OK and then Finish. We'll install the AD Bridge Gateway and Gatekeeper now. Copy the exe file over to your Windows Server 2022 VM. Double-click on the file and proceed with the installation. Please restart when prompted. After restarting, proceed with the installation of both the Gatekeeper and the Gateway. When prompted for the certificate file, browse to find the PFX certificate that we created earlier and enter the password that you assigned when creating it. Now for the connection string, this is the connection to the SQL 2019 server. See the structure of the string and an example on the screen. After entering the connection string, click Next to proceed with the installation. For this POC, select NAT Traversal and Active Directory. When prompted, enter your domain credentials. When prompted, enter the URL for the DNS name that we entered when creating the certificates. See the example on the screen. Then click Register so that we can assign a username and password. Enter administrator and a password and then confirm it. Click Register, and then you can close the browser. Now enter the username and password you just assigned in the portal. Click Next and proceed with the installation. Next, we'll copy the AD Bridge license file into the correct folder. Follow the steps on screen and then reboot the server when the file has been copied. After you restart, wait a few minutes for the AD sync process to complete, then load the browser and go to the Cloud Gateway URL that we set earlier. Notice the structure of the login. Domain, in my case, Micah, and then administrator. Okay, now we'll head back to the Ubuntu VM to install the certificate and the AD Bridge agent. Here are the steps we'll go through to set up the cert. These steps are also in the accompanying text file, and you can follow along on the screen. Next, we need to copy the AD Bridge agent over to the Ubuntu VM. I'll be using FileZilla again. Once it is copied over, we'll install the AD Bridge agent. The steps are on screen and also in the text file. Please follow along. Now that we've installed the agent on Ubuntu, let's head over to our Active Directory to see that it has been added as a computer object in our domain. Log into your AD domain and launch the Active Directory Users and Computers snap-in. Additionally, if you go back to the AD Bridge portal, you'll see that it has been added as a device in the Devices tab. Okay, the next step is to set up the roles, views, and assignments. Head over to the Administration tab, select on Roles, and create a new role. Let's call it ADB Users. For the role permissions, we'll uncheck Full Control and scroll down and select View Agent, then click Save. On Views, create a new view called ADB View. Click on the agents, add our agent, select it, and then save it. Finally, on Assignments, add a new assignment named ADB Users. Include the role ADB Users. Then include the view ADB View. And for now, we'll just add one AD user to show the login. Save it, and then we'll head back to our Ubuntu VM to log into AD. Back at our Ubuntu VM, if you haven't already, exit out of the session where we installed the agent. Now, here's the structure of the SSH login. We have the username at the AD domain at the IP address. Enter the AD password for that user and you're welcomed in. In summary, we installed AD Bridge 100% on-premise, joined Ubuntu to Active Directory, and enabled Ubuntu users to log in using AD credentials. Please see our other videos if you would like to add Mac OS and Windows, non-domain joined systems to your existing environment, authenticate with Microsoft Entra ID, Okta, Ping, etc., or learn how to manage, secure, and audit these machines with policies. Thanks for your time today. Please reach out to us with any questions.